I really don't understand why I didn't sell more tickets this morning. I was the last one.
You have to. Well, we'll come back to your report. How about that? Because you're gonna start getting people. So, Secretary Gary?
Just a reminder, the board meeting is Wednesday at 5:30 at Shuley Community Services. Thanks, Paul, as far as the district conference goes, appreciate that. Brand and I and Chris are on that, committee for Dave Duskin, and, I know that we're doing everything that we can to make this a really great conference. This past Wednesday, the program for the chamber was, nonprofit, and which included Rotary. So I had a dual hat as being the president of the Greater Lake Stevens Chamber, but I also had the role of getting up and giving a 5-minute overview of Rotary. I had a good time letting the Lions know that we were the first organization, service organization, to ever be created. But there were, I think, about 8 nonprofits. Anthony, what?
There's a
8
lot.
nonprofits.
We got 10.
10. And the meeting went long, but it was well attended. So anyway, that's my report.
Very good. My report. So I actually visited Marysville Lunch Club, the Rotary Marysville, and it was a lot of fun. The differences between the way we do things is kind of interesting. And I think mostly because they're a lunch club, right? So they eat and then they go to their meeting. So whereas us, it seems like we use time to do reports, right? So that seems to be the main difference between our clubs. I even went to Arlington's yesterday, and it's similar. So it's a lunch club too. So, but my goal with going to all the different clubs is going to be to get us all closer together as Rotary, right? We're separate in our own clubs, but then it'd be nice to be able to do some projects that we also are all together on. You know, even if it doesn't have to be here in Lake, but we prefer it to be here in Lake, we can get them all to come, right? But just to do more stuff as a big club too. So, and then also, like I said, it'd be fun to do some events, like if anybody's bowlers, I'm not, I'll be the guy just drinking a cold beer on the side, rah, yawn, but it'd be fun to get a bowling league or pickleball or something where we can play against the other clubs and have a little bit of fun like that too. So that's my report. Eileen, club services?
I don't have a ton to report. If anybody needs, a card or, whatever, just let me know. You can message me, email me. And that's really, and then Corpus and Cakes, I think Raquel and I are gonna meet after, gala to, finalize the food. But you got it. You're figuring it out. You're the goddess in control. And then just a shameless self-promotion. Gala, we're 3 weeks out. Thank you everybody who bought tickets, who sponsored, who donated. We have about 35 seats left. So if you haven't got your tickets, please get them. And we're really excited. Thank you all for your support. It means a lot.
They're going fast. Going fast. And on a side note too, about Coursing Kegs, since there's so many people in the room, we really want everybody to get involved and help with that. It's the biggest thing we do, really, and so and we need a lot of people to help. It makes a lot of stress for the main people. So the more hands, the better. So, but also to Raquel and Eileen, you guys make sure to reach out to everybody, right? Even if the people aren't signing up, bug them or let me bug them, and I don't mind. We need to get people to sign up. No, like your bugging and my bugging may be a little bit different. So we can bribe them, take them to go get coffee. Oh, and also the district said, Rotary said that they'll give anybody $100 to tattoo the Rotary wheel on their body somewhere. So it was $100 is what they said. So if you guys want to do that, it's worth it. It's worth it. No, I can't have, I'm allergic to the ink. So I can't do it. Yeah, it has to be at least 4 inches. So, I mean, I talked to Dallas, they said 6 and I said 4. So, and it's gotta be full color. So, okay. Oh, Bob Foundation. It's gotta match. You can't, what do you mean, what color?
It's
What
a
color?
branding, it's a branding.
I mean, if you're colorblind, then take the wheel with you and the, no, no, there's no invisible ink on your body.
We'll get the branding iron out.
For you, I'll do the tattoo. I can do it for you. All right, Bob, foundation?
No, no update so much on the foundation, but thank you last week for, I got a lot of volunteers to help me collect money from people, so I appreciate that. There is a meeting Tuesday, 5:30 at my house about articles of bylaws, policies, procedures. I'll be sending out an email, just haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be
Actually,
exciting.
great.
I've got to read, 2 insurance policies today. So they're gonna be blacks. I've got to read through and they're about 200 pages each. So I love contracts and I think our bylaws is probably much needed review and updating probably, because I would almost bet, this is being recorded, so I'm not gonna say that. We need to update, we probably need to update, make sure we're following them, right? So, how about community services, Rochelle?
So we're gonna do a road cleanup. We're in the process of getting this.
Wow.
And Amy is the chair. Getting that, actually several scheduled because we're a little behind the ball on the roads that we have, the work will be taken care of. And then we want to put together, we met last week, an event at Lundy Park. So we'll do a park cleanup because we've adopted that park. So we need to go down there, do some things. I contacted the city to get some information from them, what's on their radar, of things that we can help with. And so look forward to some emails with all that information out.
Yeah, that's great. I'm all about that.
Chris, International?
There's a board meeting coming up in the next week or so, so it might be someone new, but they're probably great. Awesome.
Cool. Membership, Raquel?
Today, we are ready to induct Robert into our club. However, he is not here today. So as soon as Robert makes his next meeting, we'll be able to induct him. How many members do we have?
No more than.
No, 47, it'll be 48. when,
48 Robert.
And Alex will make 49.
Application coming up on Wednesday night.
50.
Here. Well, I'm just making that nice.
We don't mind voting. Just like he was a friend.
Okay.
Brian, so if anybody has, again, I'll call out, anybody has anyone, lots of people, who might be interested, who are in favor of what we do and would like to be a part of our organization, then reach out to them. And if you like me to reach out to them, names, numbers, I can be a bulldog too. I can call and try to get somebody to come have coffee with us or something like that, just so we can talk to them and hopefully, share with them what we do.
Or just give her the address and she'll go over with coffee one morning. So that'll work.
Pastries is always a win.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Somewhere nice.
Look at my oysters now.
All right, Rand, public image.
We have 2 projects we're working on. We're working on the public facing website is one. And we're putting together an ask video or a video that is played at our event at Corks and Kegs that justifies you opening your wallet and giving us a bunch of money. Anthony has agreed to be the first person on camera for that, so we'll have that.
Oh, no, I did. That was.
Actually, Beard said he would do it.
Do we vote? Oh,
You're gonna put him on a big screen?
The space, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
They're
not
gonna
big
put
screen, I don't
all of
know.
you together.
Man.
Brothers.
the video will be comprised of organizations that we support talking about how impactful Rotary is on their organization. And that's a justification for asking. for
Nice.
money.
That'd
be great.
Okay.
Wow. All right, James? Hey, good.
Last call to get your tickets. All by. Governor Jimmy, would you do us?
I would be happy to.
Make sure the red one,
A red one?
and read the last three numbers out nice and loud.
The last three numbers are 132.
That's me.
Oh, what a surprise.
What?
I should win a lot more often than I do.
That's only half the battle. Now, yeah, the winning duck out here.
Let's see.
So that's W on it. You're the
Let's see,
winner.
if I could get the duck in the first year, that would be something. Not this time.
But you get a consolation prize.
Thank you.
All right. All right, this is a participatory Happy Bucks, so everybody up?
Oh,
All right, let's reach behind you for the gentlemen, your wallets in your pockets, out, ladies out of your purse. With your other hand, you're gonna take some money out, there we go, good job. All right, good. Like Rand said, this is how we do it, we contribute. All right, everybody have a seat.
Get the blood flowing.
Get the blood flowing. All right. In recognition of our presentation today, we're gonna be really quick. Happy Bucks.
happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Excellent, thank you.
You don't have to be that bad.
That's some Happy Bucks. I was at a conference all last week, fire and police, and the guy was an international speaker talking about integrity, making the right decisions and ethics and stuff. And he actually quoted the four-way test. Yeah. That was awesome. So, he's not even a Rotarian. So that must be really effective.
Yeah.
Give Raquel his number.
Yeah. I did. I called him and he lives in Chicago.
The number one talk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I see Matt retired. I wish I'd known that.
Yeah.
So I had a beautiful and brutal time on the indoor cycle bike on this past Monday, raising awareness and funds for the YMCA. I talked about just like getting your foot in the door, and I'm a huge fan of just showing up to the starting line. So from doing that, I am super humbled that I have the opportunity now to be on a super small panel to hire the next executive of the Everett YMCA. And also be on a cabinet for Camp Casey at a really high level with the CEO. So it's just so cool that showing up and giving, and you just get more opportunities and everything keeps building, so.
And how long did you cycle, Amy?
Oh, I cycled for on and off the bike all day for 13 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I didn't keep track of the miles.
And you find that in the act of giving, you get more?
Always 100%. And I love that the YMCA does that so well. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad it's Friday and everybody have fun today.
Yeah, glad it's Friday, but I also want to say that you only get out of anything in life what you put into it. And that includes Rotary. The more you put into Rotary, the more you get out of it. So it's your, whether it's your family, your job, your club, whatever, the more you put into it, the more you get out. Thanks, Amy.
Monthly coming to me. Like today's Friday, I see a couple of new faces. And I think it's wonderful to be part of this group here. Thank you, Lord.
Well, a couple of bucks. One, yesterday was my mom's 113th birthday. She's not here any longer, of course. So Bev and I went up to the Holy Root Cemetery and put flowers on her area, and then we went to my dad's and put flowers on his because I did a happy birthday for mom and a happy St. Patrick's Day for dad. Little note on that. I always used to say I'm Irish, and my mom would say, no, you got some German, English, and other things in you, and I said, no, I'm Irish. So when Bev and I did the DNA test, I came back with 86% Irish. I think my mom turned over in the grave at least 3 times.
And how are you celebrating Monday?
I'm gonna be on a Zoom meeting with Dave Dustin. If Sean's on there, I hope he'll tip a beer to me.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be sober.
No.
Darn those governors.
For Gary's shirt, that's like the coolest shirt, Gary.
That doesn't tell I'm Irish, I don't know what the hell does.
Should wear your green outfit.
Takes up the
Yeah,
other.
Well, I would have-
My son is coming home tomorrow.
He just did it.
No, 2 months ago.
Oh, well, you know how that is. The daughter's all the way across the country.
She is, I talked to her like 500 times. We're planning a trip to Italy, and so she constantly is FaceTiming me. How about this? I don't have any idea what you're talking about, but I'll do it. Okay, so, with that, Laura, I have to be here again. I'm super excited. Arts and Parks Foundation is working on, the music in the park. We're gonna do that again this year. We bring a different band or ensemble or musical genius, to North Cove Park on Wednesdays after the farmer's market. And we're gonna do a beer and wine and garden there too, and it's gonna have charcuterie boxes and snacks and things like that that you can enjoy while you're watching the band.
Are you and your group one of the performers?
Pardon?
You and your group one of the performers?
Yes, I do have a very low key under the radar kazoo group.
Excellent.
Yes, it's wonderful. Not the truth. It's not the truth. It is, that was fair, but not true.
Good morning.
Hey. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
New member to be.
Oh.
You're up.
Christine.
I didn't miss her.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna Venmo. I'm just really happy to be here. It's Friday and the sunrise this morning was.
I know.
Last night, you guys,
That was so confusing.
Yeah, it was.
Did anyone see it? The bottom of the moon was gone.
The eclipse.
The
Yeah.
eclipse.
Yeah.
It happens every once in a while.
And it snowed last night, by the way.
Yes, it did.
One going
Scary
scary.
day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, snow on my.
Larry.
You know, I haven't been up here for a long time and I apologize for that. I'll kind of come more often. But one thing I noticed today is that you have a lot of new members that I don't recognize. Some folks that I do recognize, but more importantly, a lot of these new members are younger members, which is great.
I love that you looked at me when you said that.
You really noticed that.
Okay, thank you.
He just looked at you for confirmation that they're other.
Yeah, right.
So I honestly, I'm happy to have been able to visit the other club and looking forward to visiting more.
Yeah, and it is a lot of fun doing
Yeah.
that.
All right, folks online, Don Iverson.
He's checking it out.
Yeah.
I saw him get
He's
up.
looking at it.
Well, I'm happy because I am going to start on a long and convoluted trip back north. So lots of fun stops along the way and everything, and I'll be back right around April 12th. So looking forward to seeing you all again in person.
That's good. You have one job, bring the warm weather back.
Well, I'll work on that.
Good. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. I'm happy because we just had our monthly meeting for the Salty Sea Days Task Force in Everett, and things are coming along. It's a lot to put together, but that's to be held at the middle of July, and we are looking for community partners to have a booth or sponsorships and stuff like that. So if any of you out there are looking for a way to kind of be involved in the community, which I think most of us here are, just reach out to me and I can send you that information. And also it's tree pruning season. So I'm spending every night in my zen pruning our orchard and stuff. So it's just kind of nice to do that. I just was glad the rain stayed away from South Marysville yesterday because North Marysville, it was a downpour. So we were right on the edge of the luck there. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning. Just happy to be here this week. Nice to see everybody.
Good morning. Miss Debbie.
Happy to be here, happy for that sunrise, happy that David and I can talk today, and also you gotta see this little wallet that Larry has. He's got this wallet full of
Money?
$2 bills that he just tears off and then can use for happy bucks and tickets, and it's so cool. I haven't seen a $2 bill in years.
Yeah.
There you go.
Better than $3 bill.
Better Davy. Happy to be back here. It's been, I guess, a year and a half since I came here. It's nice now being a past district governor. And that feels better, but I am, like Brian, I am president-elect of my club, Mount Vernon, so I believe in that. And I'm also, I don't know if I'm happy, Raquel made that comment about 55 being that. So if you see me in the parking lot with her in a headlock, I'm gonna show you that somebody over 55 is not giving up.
I'm right there, though.
Yeah, well, you're gonna feel
I'm
it.
not. Just saying it's halfway over to two. That's all. Yeah. No.
These young kids don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, then.
Okay. All right, I'm happy. It's funny, I worked in a company for 10 years. We were never allowed to say the word problem. We always had to say opportunity.
Yep.
So it does change your perspective. I had an opportunity this week, in one of my properties. African Ireland causes moved 16 people out, and it was fantastic. Worked with Red Cross to get them united, more permanent solution. But it's still good.
Problems can't be solved, but challenges and opportunities.
Yep.
Good morning, Christine.
The projected need for Festival of Trees is coming, it's gonna happen. This year's sponsorship information, probably in the next couple weeks, and there's levels from, $250 up to $5,000, so I'll be asking, or Raquel will be asking, or Michelle will be asking, or Eileen's got enough to do with Gala Ray. But.
Bringing tomorrow. You okay? We can also send a video to help you.
I have a happy five, the sunrise was amazing. Dave missed it because he is up on heading to Stevens Pass skiing. He is enjoying retirement. I think this is his 23rd or 24th trip up to skiing this year. He is in heaven. And somebody who just crossed over the hill on Saturday, 55, is a fabulous year.
Oh, you youngin'.
Yep. Yep. And then I'm excited. I have some letters from Honduras. There's a letter to me, except that they didn't translate this one. This is a letter to Linda Ralph. She has sponsored a student through IPA. And then our club, we sponsor a school, the Marvin Acosta School, community of Rio Amarillo. And they have a report of what our money, what our sponsorship does for them. So I'd love to have people,
Awesome.
anybody can translate for me.
Is it Spanish?
Yes,
I can translate.
can you? Sweet. I'll
Yes,
get
of
to you
course,
later.
sweet.
Okay, anyway, yeah.
I can take a picture with ChatGPT and text you.
Okay, well, I'm happy it's Friday. I'm happy, my wife has been in the Bay Area all week and she's coming home on Sunday. So I'm really happy about that. And then my oldest daughter and her family are 3 granddaughters. They're in Europe for the next 3, they left Friday, they'll be in Europe for 3 weeks. And it's great because every single day they send us pictures. They're in Paris at the moment, and it just brings back great memories of my experience in Europe a number of times.
You can say, oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, pictures from the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I remember that.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. As a commercial banker for the only Canadian-based US bank, I am really happy that I get 2 days and not have to talk about tariffs.
Then you define it.
Only 2 Saturday, Sunday, lucky day. Tariffs will be my discussion all day long. It'll be nice not to have to talk about tariffs for 2 days, because it's been quite a discussion in the commercial banking world here, because we have both Canadian clients and US bank clients here, and it is really interesting being both a Canadian-based bank and a US-based bank, because we have perspectives on both, and believe me, it occupies all day, every day with the tariffs.
I also love the sunrise, get my devotional done on the way in, and my I normally talk about like trail life or what's going on at church, but my main business is I own a financial advising firm, and we're releasing a whole podcast series that's right now that is talking about these new strategies that we've developed for people's income and retirement. That is, it's astounding. And I'm hoping other advisors will take from it and change the way they do business.
Good, awesome. Excellent. Morning, sir.
Happy Friday, and just appreciative of the opportunity to meet with all of you and say hello.
Excellent. Beer next time, of course. Just kidding.
Happy 5, I'm glad it's Friday, grateful for all the support. And shout out to Amy, because I have seen you, I drive by you sometimes early in the morning on my way to work, and I see you in your hot pink little pullover. And I have been really good at not screaming your name from the window of my car, but kudos to you, because I think that's awesome. I think you should.
I'm gonna do it now. I want to sit out the door.
You should really let me.
I also didn't want to interrupt her. She
Yes.
was very focused, but.
So I'm happy, looking forward to the great presentation, hearing about the Rotary Friendship Exchange.
Well, here's my dollar that James extorted from me. And then my, sorry, 5 for being so late. I was trying to come up with a good excuse. I figure I'd blame it on Rob Roy. Rob Roy is my rooster. And I figured he just did not crow loud enough.
We're glad you're here. Right.
All right, so we're gonna have Debbie and David talk, and Debbie's gonna come and introduce David to you guys.
Be careful of that OSHA safety hazard over there. The cord, so, well,
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the folks online aren't gonna be able to see the presentation this morning. We're having an issue sharing, so sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You can watch the recording later.
all right, well, it's my pleasure to be here this morning and share with you about one of Rotary's great programs. And David and I went on a trip together in October. It was actually partly at his formation. So Rotary Friendship Exchange, who will be explaining that, but in my introduction of David, you might have heard a little bit about him this morning. He is a past district governor of our district and has visited our club before. He's a member of the Mount Vernon Club and has been there for a number of years, has been married to his wonderful wife, married for 44 years. And we became friends on the trip, and he's going to share more about himself in the presentation. He's president-elect of Mount Vernon Club. So let's welcome David. I'm going to sidekick. He's doing most of this, but.
Jump in when you want.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for allowing us to come and talk about friendship exchanges. I think as we're talking about the terrible things like tariffs and whatever, this is a really important part of Rotary, peacemaking. And you'll kind of hear us you'll better understand that after you've seen the presentation. So basically, a Rotary Friendship Exchange is an international exchange of a Rotary district sending people to another part of the world, and then for that group to come back. And so we went last October to Hungary, and the Hungarians will be coming in September. So they'll be here for 2 weeks, and hopefully you'll get a chance to meet them.
I think our club leadership has agreed to be a part of that and possibly coach the team.
Yeah.
So there's that possibility for us as a club.
Great opportunity. I think of all the benefits, you get a chance to learn some of the differences in regions and cultures and language, but you also find what's in common. And for us, it was a chance to meet Rotarians from throughout Hungary. And it was a wonderful opportunity for us to understand the culture, but also find the common ground that we have. And we made a lot of good friends in our time there. How this whole thing started was back in January of 2023,
as district governor-elect, all the district governors come together for an event called International Assembly. It was held in Orlando, so I go, I know a few people, but I don't know the international side of Rotary. It was fascinating seeing Rotarians from all around the world, 500 of us gathered in a hotel, and a chance to learn more about Rotary, become more effective as district governors, have some fun, and build friendships. So one of the friendships I made was with Elizabeth Kovacs, who was the district governor-elect at that time of District 1911. And out of our time together, we started, when we came home, we started doing Zoom meetings. Now, Elizabeth had spent some time in the US. When she was 30 years old and didn't know much English, she was down in the Los Angeles area. And ironically, she was housed with a Hispanic family who didn't speak English very well either. So she had to learn really quickly, but her English is very, very good. But out of that, we started having Zoom meetings, just talking about, Rotary life. And out of that, we decided, let's do a friendship exchange. So that's how the whole thing started. Ashibeth, as she's called in Hungary, really was an amazing, gracious woman. Who's
Very positive.
very positive.
She was a part of our trip in many
Yeah.
times and locations. She joined us.
So, and, so that was just really the exciting part of how this whole thing came together. And that's our team. And on the far left is Dr. Steve Bann, who ironically was born in Hungary, fled with his family in 1956 in the Hungarian Revolution, which I'll talk about in a minute. Retired pediatrician, and so he sometimes did some translation for us, for him going with a chance to rework his Hungarian language. Next to Steve is Nick and Ying Cheng. Nick is a financial planner and part of the Semi-Amu Rotary Club, and Steve is a part, right now, current president of the Bellingham Rotary Club. Next is Debbie, and next to Debbie is Benedict. Let's see if I can pronounce his last name. Palvagi. He was the coordinator in Hungary for the Friendship Exchange. What you have is somebody in each district who helps coordinate the event. And I'll get to Daniel in just a minute, but Benedict was the one who set it up. He's an attorney, mostly in the economic world. And the first couple of days, he was the one that toured us around Budapest. So very knowledgeable, very, very wonderful man. And next to me and Elizabeth is Janice Ellis, a member of the Rotary Club of Everett. Yep. There we go. Yep. Everett's represented. And Janice is an amazing woman, as many of you may know, a retired Superior Court judge. Next to Janice is Stan Carter. Stan is a retired contractor from the Semi-Amu Club and lives in White Rock. And then finally, the person who really was instrumental in helping organize this trip was Daniil Mullen. And Daniil is our Friendship Exchange leader. And so when a Friendship Exchange goes on, Daniil will put it together, pick the team. She'll help out with how to do airfare. She travels a lot, which helps. I'd never been, in Eastern Europe, so it was very helpful having Daniil leading, and she did a fabulous job.
She's been maybe in that position at least a dozen or more years for the district.
Right.
She's very experienced with it.
So a little bit about Hungary in Eastern Europe. The size of Hungary is about half the size of the state of Washington. So it's not a huge country. And it has about 9 million people in it. But the history of Hungary is kind of sad. Before World War I, Hungary and Austria were somewhat connected. They called it the Austria-Hungarian Empire. But after the war was over, Hungary lost 2/3 of its land. And actually in World War I, what's fascinating is the Austrians wanted to go to war, the Hungarians did not. But they were stuck having to go to war. So they lost a lot of territory, which became part of what was then Czechoslovakia, Romania, and Yugoslavia. They had ports along the Adriatic Sea, they lost all of that, so they became a smaller landlocked country from World War One. Then in 1944, the Nazis decided to come into Hungary and take care of what they called the Jewish problem. And the first way of doing it, and this was probably one of the most painful things I saw, was shoes on the Danube. Basically, what this is a reminder of how the Jews were taken care of first. What the Nazis would do is line them up on the Danube, have them take off their shoes, shoot them, and dump the bodies in the river. Really, really tough seeing it. What then happened was they decided to do the cattle cars straight north to Auschwitz, and that's where a lot of Jews went, including Steve Bann's mother. Steve Bann's mother survived Auschwitz. I think her sister was with her too. And what the story is his mother had the bravery of, they had to work in a, they were basically slave laborers. They had to put together ammunition and bombs. What does Steve Bann's mother do? Kind of tweak the wires so they became duds. And she was really proud of that. I am too. Now, as the Nazis were leaving in 1945, as the Soviets were coming, the picture to the left is one I took of the chain bridge and the castle. What you see on the right is what the Nazis did leaving Budapest. Terrible. So now the Soviets come in 1945, the Hungarians are excited, they think they're going to be liberated, and it's even worse. What the Soviets did was they came in, the Jews came back from concentration camps who survived, but they banned all religion. And they also took away everybody's land. That was communism. Really, it's worse. And so I had a chance to visit what is called the House of Terror. I don't know if you had a chance to.
We tried, but the day we went, it was closed. It was one of those things closed on Mondays, and that's the day.
Yeah, I went and it was just very moving. You saw some of the terror that was done during the Nazi times, but more what the Soviets did. If you didn't walk the party line, they basically got rid of you. And so there were, they showed the cells, some of the torture methods, and they keep that in line to remind people what it was like to be occupied by another country. It was not pleasant at all. And you see the victims, and I just walked out of there just really shaking over what Hungarians did until 1989. Now, the Hungarian Revolution was an attempt by college students and young adults to protest the Soviets about the fact that we're tired of being told what we have to read, what we have to think, and what we have to say. And so they protested in front of the Parliament building. And what happened was the Soviets set up guns on a building adjacent and just mowed them down. And what's interesting is the exhibit there shows bullet holes that the Hungarians have left to show what happened during the revolution. Hungarians stood up for a few weeks. The Soviets actually withdrew out of Hungary. Hungarians thought maybe we're gonna get some independence. Then under Khrushchev, the Soviets came back and just, anybody who disagreed got imprisoned. The prime minister at that time, Emil Nagy, who's really a revered leader in Hungary, he was basically taken away and executed. So, and the building on the right, or the picture on the right, is the Parliament building, and those are bullet holes from the revolution. So it shows that for people, they haven't forgotten their history. And when you think about it, Hungary has only been an independent country for 35 years. So it was fascinating to talk to people about what it was like during the Soviet times and then what it was like now. Oops. Now, we made a lot of trips out of Budapest to other parts of Hungary. Our first trip was, this is out of one of the train stations. There are 3 major train stations in Budapest, and I can't believe how organized it is, how easy it is for train travel. And guess what? If you're over 65, free.
Free.
Free transportation for trains, subways, buses, trams. You just show the passport and there you go.
So 10 more years, Raquel.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking you in a headlock to Hungary and then,
Get ready with that camera, because we're doing it.
yeah, we are. We're definitely going on.
Fake ID.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if that get by some of them, but anyway, so we went to Szeged, which is really near the Romanian border, to visit with a couple of Rotary clubs. And we had lunch with them, and then we met, one of their exchange students was Camden, who is from Ohio, thrilled to meet a group of American Canadians. Found out he loves playing the piano. That's one of his goals, is becoming maybe a piano, professional piano player for groups, but just the warmest, kindest young man. And really, the exchange program, as you'll hear later, was really quite powerful. Now, one of the things that just blew me away in Hungary was the architecture, especially in religious buildings. And I'm a former pastor. This is a synagogue. I've never seen a synagogue with as much artwork and frescoes and powerful kinds of symbols in it. And somehow that survived the Nazis and the communists, and they keep working on restoring things. Just amazing. And then nearby was the Votive Church, which again, look at the color, the painting. You walk in, I mean, Gothic architecture is meant to be, God is great. God is almighty. It's not that, well, we're kind of small in all this, but it's awesome. And I felt that sense of awe, when you walked in. You felt a sense of reverence. Something that I used to preach about a lot, about what we miss in American life, is that sense of awe. There you got it.
Especially if you just walked in from the countryside.
Yeah.
You've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, just amazing. And I've got won't show all the pictures, but just even going into Parliament, into other buildings, it just blew me away. One of the most moving parts of our visit was we visited a Ukrainian refugee school that actually has been started and partially funded by Rotarians.
This is in Budapest.
Yeah, so we're back in Budapest. So we met with a class of 11th graders, 6th graders, 2nd graders. 11th graders, they know their English, and so it was nice to communicate with them. 6th graders, English, and 2nd graders, it's such that they kind of struggle with that. But on the other side of the coin, they were excited, well-behaved, hungry to want to learn. And the reason for setting up the school is they didn't want to have to learn Hungarian, which is a difficult language. They wanted to keep learning Ukrainian. And so for a lot of these children, they've got a parent still in Ukraine. Maybe they're fighting in the war, or maybe they're trying to make a living.
And many of them had lost a parent.
Yeah. But you saw, they went in and they were so excited to want to learn. Don't have many supplies. I know there's an effort to try to do maybe a global grant to give these children just tablets, and the teachers don't have supplies, so give them a computer that will allow them to better instruct. But this was very, very moving.
What you're seeing in the bottom left picture is the backside of Victoria, who started this program literally 4 years ago, and it just has exploded, and they're doing an amazing job, and just have a lot of needs, though. They've got their building, but it continues to grow and expand.
We visited 2 clubs in Budapest, the Budapest City Club and the Budapest Academia Club, and that is Victoria on the far right. And they are 2 of the clubs that were instrumental in helping fund the Ukrainian school. And again, there were other folks there were a couple of Mormons who were there, who were doing a great job of helping out, again, financially, but also morally with these children. It was a great, great opportunity.
And one thing, I don't know if David's gonna touch on it later, so if I'm jumping.
Go ahead.
Again, excuse me, but one thing that really struck me, and I first discovered it when we were at Szeged, is you think of, okay, they were having their 100th anniversary of Rotary there, but they really weren't. Because they had 44 years under communist rule that Rotary could not meet. So here they are doing these amazing programs, really just recently coming back, out of that. They were very impressive how they'd taken that on, even though they'd had this long hiatus that they had to have of no Rotary functioning in the country.
Yeah. We went again south to Zolnok, where we met a couple of Rotary clubs there. The symbol on the right, the statue, is very moving about how anguished Hungarians were about World War I. So we had a chance to visit with Julia Molnar, who is the district governor-elect. In fact, she was just in Orlando for training. And we did a lot of exchanging of our banners. In fact, yeah, thank you, Debbie. Debbie's gonna pass around some of the banners I collected while I was there. And I had banners, most of us had banners from our clubs to be able to share with Rotarians there. Julia, and that's her husband, George, who was the chef. One of the things that amazed me about Hungarian food was goulash with the right seasoning. It's absolutely delicious. Oh, best stuff. Chicken. I came away from Hungary with some new taste buds. Let's put it that way. I came back when I had chicken, I'm going, yeah, but my taste buds were renewed. Thank goodness you've got a shop now for oils and other
And I
things.
tried to get some banners for our club, but when we checked, there weren't any current banners to exchange
Working on
them. So I'm sorry that I wasn't able to bring some back to our club here, but you'll get to see what they're like
Yes, we'll have to go back.
when they come here.
We had a chance to visit a plywood factory in Zolnok. No, Amy, can't remember her last name, who is the manager. And it's kind of rare in Eastern Europe to have a female manager of a plant, but she's been with it. The company is out of Italy and they make plywood. And what was fascinating was
Balsam.
balsam.
Yeah, so it's very lightweight.
What was fascinating to me going through there, I don't know how you felt, was the lack of safety equipment. I mean, no eye goggles, nothing to protect the ears, nothing on the shoes. And I also was fascinated that half the workers were Filipinos. Again, on a green card, coming to work for a couple of years and then going back. So that was kind of interesting, that was the case. But we had a chance, I know that Stan from our travels actually hooked up with Naomi and they're doing maybe some business with British Columbia. So and that's again part of Rotary, is doing business with one another. This was really exciting to see. Gudulu is I want to say a village about 35 miles from Budapest, and we spent 2 days there. Warmly greeted at the train station. They've got a lending library there at the train station so people can take and deliver books. A wonderful evening at the home of one of the Rotarians. This was, as it turned out, a satellite club of one of the clubs in Budapest. And the next day we came back. Oh, excuse me. Before we do that, they are working on 2 schools. Autism being one of them, special needs being another. And again, the government doesn't give much money for education. It's really somewhat privatized in a lot of the areas. And so Rotarians are leading the way with education, and that's what Gudulu is really working on. The chartering event the next day was fascinating. One of the things that I think my critique of being a district governor and seeing things is we don't do enough to make a big deal about joining a club. And in this case, chartering a club was a big deal. To the left, Anna Marie, current district governor, the president, and then Elizabeth and I are talking to the group. They did a wonderful celebration. They had dance, music, magician came, and actually I learned later they did that on purpose. What's that?
About 2 minutes.
Okay, we gotta move. They did that just so Americans could understand better.
The magic road.
It is. Budapest Szeszed Club was another club. They met actually in the hotel we stayed in. again, healthcare is their biggest concern. We had a chance to meet one of the clubs, the Budapest St. Gelert Club. We met at the home, the office of the former ambassador of Hungary to Peru, Peter Kraft, and had a chance to learn more about what they were doing. He had in his office 250 oil paintings. Just amazing. And there's Peter on the right with Daniil. We also learned that one of its members actually was significantly influential in starting the
His father
student-
started the friendship.
the student youth exchange,
Yeah.
you know, going. And again, and what Peter did was he brought in, to surprise us, three musicians that were just experts at piano and violin. It was just an amazing time. Zentis, another club we visited. This happens to be Elizabeth. There were 4 clubs there. And in the middle is Elizabeth with her husband, George. Steve Bann were at a Protestant school describing a little bit of what we do. And this was to 8th graders in a Protestant school who are trying to learn English. Our last visit in the Budapest Margarita Club, again, a small club, but again, education and healthcare are the 2 areas that Rotarians are really trying to cover. A little bit of Budapest, looking from the castle, and the castle was really, what's neat about Budapest is they don't build new buildings, they restore what they've got. And so the castle is significant. We had a chance the first couple of days to go tour it and see it, and there's the Danube. We met one of our former exchange students, I'm drawing a blank here, Bensi, who lives in Budapest, and I'd met him last year as district governor. He was so excited to see us. That experience as an exchange student, he was in Chilliwack, BC, was life-changing. He now wants to come back to America and Canada and be able to, again, find ways to work, friendship, and grow. And that was really exciting. The Parliament building, as I explained, the architecture was absolutely amazing inside of it. And then we went on a trip to Lake Balaton, which is it's west of Budapest. And it's a place where a lot of people vacation, summer homes. And we went into the Abbey, and again, the architecture, the frescoes, just were very, very
It's
impressive.
the largest lake in Hungary, and a lot of people, wealthy people, have their second homes there.
And then Debbie and I, threw this in, had a chance to go to, and I can't even pronounce the name of the building. It was in walking distance of our hotel, but went to a Turkish bath, I guess, or a thermal bath. Amazing how organized, clean. They had 3 outdoor pools and 15 indoor pools. And even the architecture inside there was absolutely amazing. And you just
It
kind of,
felt very good after all the walking.
yeah,
and-
it was great just having warm water kind of hit upon you like that. So, I guess again, I just want to summarize the fact that a friendship exchange is an opportunity to better understand a culture, and that's where peace comes into play. As you know, one of the 7 areas of focus is peacemaking, and Rotarians have been at the forefront of trying to create peace throughout its history. Friendship exchanges allow you to do that. This is my first one. I was excited to go. I was glad Debbie
And we
came.
became friends with each other. too,
Yeah,
which
we
is a
really
really
did.
Fabulous part of it.
So I'll open it up to questions because I know we're kind of at the end of our time.
What's the average size of a club in Budapest?
I'd say between 20 and 40. Not big. There weren't any big clubs there, but 40 was a large club for them. Yes.
Did you, this is more operational, how many versions of your club's flag did you have to take with you? And did you trade your club flag for each one of these?
Yes, I did. And basically those will eventually go to my club in Mount Vernon. I did a presentation, but they'll go to them, you know, but yeah, we have to have we had about, I don't know, 15 visits, so there was a lot going on. Yes.
Why was it Hungary and not somewhere else, or does that change every year?
Changes all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was because of the relationship I developed with their district governor.
That's
how
really
that
where it
started.
comes from, and not much was done during COVID years, but for obvious reasons, but our club here in the past has hosted Turkey and Thailand.
Thailand.
And I think one even before, yeah, that I know of, so.
When I was there, I asked a young cab driver, why don't, especially at the castle, because you saw bullet holes at the castle too. I
Yeah.
said, why don't you guys repair that stuff? He got very emotional and said, because we don't want to forget.
Right,
What
right.
happened to us. And so
Yeah.
that came from like a 30-year-old young man. So I thought that was.
It is very moving to
It
see
is moving,
those.
yeah.
Easy to get around, and it's called Budapest. They're actually the combination of three cities in 1867 that merged. Obuda and Pest.
That third one we forgot.
Obuda.
Obuda, yeah.
Obuda. And basically the Danube is what's the dividing line between those separate towns.
And one side, it goes the plains that are very flat, and the other side is the hilly where the castles are. And to me, I always could remember, what's the Buddha side? Well, what's Buddha? Buddha's kind of big. Like, okay, but Buddha's the hilly side and Pest is the fertile grounds. So.
Any other questions?
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, if there's nothing else, y'all have a great day. Go out and conquer the world.
Oh, and we are going to buzz in, yeah, for a second, we're gonna do.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's just a bit now.
Oh, okay, okay.
I wanted to hear
Thanks for having me, Brian. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.